All right, y'all. It is 8:02 Eastern Time. And so I would like to formally welcome you to Chandria Circles Back. Tonight, we are going to discuss the most scariest thing of the entire season. As I hear this thing done. I think this is working. Okay. So the flyover is done, so now I can talk. All right, y'all. It is 8:03 now, Eastern Time, and I want to formally welcome you to Chandria Circles Back. Tonight, we're going to talk about one of the most spookiest times of the year as an employee for a company. And that time of the year is when you receive and get ready to go through your annual performance evaluation. Let me tell you, no one, no one loves performance evaluations, even your supervisor. Everyone is like, this is a really hard thing to sit down and talk to someone about their goals and their dreams and what they've done well, what they can do better, can go through grace and come out on top. So it's all about performance evaluations tonight. So, as you probably know, in this procedure, most of the time your supervisor will give you a chance to fill out your own evaluation. So, what that does is give you an opportunity to share and to kind of reflect with yourself on how well you have been meeting the core competencies of your job, of your role within that company. So, the moment you get that document, you want to begin to reflect on all of the good times you've had within that company within that year. You know, reflect on all the projects that you have been a part of, things that you have been appointed to, things that assignments that other people have brought you in on, situations where you have saved the day, any emergencies. You want to take at least 2 to 3 days to fill that out. I tell you to do 2 to 3 days because you don't want to rush this process because no one more than you will advocate for yourself. So you need some time to sit down and reflect on the entire year so that you can really show your skill set and what you've done in that role. So be sure you spend 2 to 3 days with this document, really leaning into the things you have done that year within that role, the things that are on your job description, the things that's not on your job description. When your manager called you in for a meeting and you solved a problem, when the vendor, a consultant, or vendor you all use for something else called you in, when a department called you in on something, think about all the things you've done and write it down. As I mentioned, you want to really, really boost yourself up because your manager is evaluating you, and I'm hopeful that they've taken notes on your skill sets all year long. But I'm gonna be honest, and I'm making sure for saying this, but I'm gonna be honest. Most times, people are gonna evaluate you on the last thing that they've seen because people are busy. Unless they are really taking notes once a month, once a week on your skill set, they may be evaluating you on the last 6 months versus the last 12 months. And so, by you completing that evaluation first, you can actually give them insights and remind them of what you have done. So, take 2 to 3 days to fill it out. When you go to your supervisor with your evaluation, I want you to start the conversation like super grateful. Like just like this. I sat down and like went over my opportunities to support the department over the last year, and I am so thankful for the opportunity. I've been able to really see the value that I add to our department. And as I reflected on my role here, These are some of the things that I've come up with over the last 12 months that I've actually done to make a big impact. Here's why this is important. Depending on where you work, your performance evaluation is attached to your bonus, your compensation, your career advancement, stretched assignments. So don't take this lightly. You want to make sure you show up in that room as if you know exactly what you've done. Also talk numbers. So if you have saved the company money over the year, talk numbers. If you have led a project that was successful, that you all completed it and record-breaking time, say that. But you can have this humble brag, right? So like you want to walk in and be like, I'm super grateful. We did some great work. Here's what I have done, and I'm so thankful to be a part of your team. And then you listen to your supervisor share their thoughts. Now, there's this box where you have like meet expectations, exceptional, did not meet, was just okay. Most of the time, they're going to want to make sure you at least meet expectations, but your goal is to be exceptional. So when you just get a meet expectations, ask your supervisor to unpack that for you. Say, what could I have done differently here to be exceptional? When you ask that question, you're asking them to fully explain why you weren't exceptional. And then you could say, thanks so much for your feedback here. As I hear you share with me how I met expectations here, over the last 12 months, anytime this project came in front of me, I was diligent, I was vigilant, whatever the case may be. Don't accept a meet expectations unless you know you just met expectations. Nothing is wrong with being in the middle. However, you want to be at the top of your bonus comp plan. You want to be the first in line for the leadership opportunity to go through the program. You want to be first in line to get a promotion. So make sure you ask your supervisor to unpack with you what you could have done differently. You want to do it in a nice way. Let them hear them out, hear what they have to say. Make sure you take notes because after this meeting, I want you to follow up. I want you to circle back. Matter of fact, I want you to follow up with notes on the things that you met expectations on and make sure it is a part of your plan to do better. So, whatever you all talk about, write it down. Within 2 days, you write back and say, thank you so much for giving me your very honest, transparent feedback on my performance here. I am so happy to be a part of your team. I look forward to continue to being on your team. But here's what I heard you say I can do better. Will you confirm these are the things I should be working on? Then ask for resources to actually work on that. Then give yourself a deadline and a date. Do. You want to take control, take charge of what's happening. So in that meeting, you want to put your emotions aside. Now I know you're gonna be super emotional. Most people are. It's common. Put them to the side so you can truly get better. Because you can't get better unless someone tells you the truth. And let me be honest with you. Most times, people don't tell you the truth. They don't tell you if you're not good enough at work. So when someone is honest with you about your performance, what you could do better, it's going to sting. I promise. I know. Take it on the chin and keep going. All right. Are there any questions about the spookiest time of the year? Performance evaluations. And I'm going to open up the phone lines. Tech team, open up the phone lines, please. So as you all know, every Wednesday night, I coach a new manager live on one particular problem they're having in the workplace. And hopefully tonight we get a phone call as well. So let's get the phone lines open, and I'm going to answer any questions you all have that we can discuss live. We're talking about performance evaluations. No one loves them. We all have to do them, but they are important to your performance, your promotion, your um, what is it? I just said this. It's important to promotions, career opportunities, stretched assignments, and also getting a raise. Yes, that's what I want to say. Getting a raise. So make sure you're focusing on what's important, showing up with everything you've done, and hearing out your leader because, as I mentioned, people don't want to be honest. If I could tell you how many times I've heard a leader say someone is not doing well, but will not tell them to their face, I could be rich. It is literally all the time. So make sure you go in that meeting, accept the feedback with grace, write down what you need to work on, circle back in a couple days, and get to working. Love your job. Because when you do better at your job, you're owning your career. You're owning those core competencies, and you can take that work and the things that you've done there and go anywhere. All right, the phone lines are open. I need some water. So I am ready to coach my new manager live. Bring in your questions, your thoughts on what you're going through, and let's talk it through. Also, if you're getting ready to go through a performance evaluation and you want my feedback on what you should be saying, oh, got a phone call. Phone call coming through. Reach out to me, let me know, and I can help you think through all the things you've done well so you can prepare for that performance evaluation. Hello, it's Coach Shan.
Hi, how you doing?
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay.
Great. Um, where are you calling in from today?
Georgia.
Georgia. Okay, how can I help you?
I'm calling back because I was one of the people who called before and you gave me advice.
Hold on, hold on. I have a caller circling back. Oh my goodness. Do you remember which week it was?
Um, no, I can't remember.
Oh, thank you so much for calling back. So, give me your situation and tell me all about it.
Okay, so I was having a problem with one of my coworkers to where I was getting the bulk of the work and he was getting nothing, and everybody was putting all the pressure on me to make sure stuff was done while he just did whatever he wanted to do and had and they just let him pass by with it.
Okay,
And
I remember that. I remember
yeah,
that.
yep. So I went back to work and I did what you said. Like I coached him and like gave him the advice that you gave me. And I talked to him about it and asked him, like, is this what you really want to do? Like, do you need more help or do you need to figure out other situations or whatever? And so everything we talked for a long time and I told him everything you told me step by step because I had it written down. So I told him what you said, and I was like, "This is what she said, so it probably work if you do it this way." So he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna try that." So, long story short, he made the decision that he wanted to try something different because he feel that he would be more stronger in a different position than the one that
Ah.
he's in right now, and he switched positions and he's doing way better.
Oh my
And
goodness. Okay. Tell me more. Tell me more. This is good.
yeah, he's doing way better in the new role that he's in, and he like you could tell the difference in his work. You could tell the difference in his passion for it. So it was a good call. So you did good. I appreciate you.
You are so welcome. So, what I'm hearing is that when you went back to your supervisor and you spoke
Hmm.
with your colleague that was on the same level as you,
Yeah.
you realized that he wasn't pulling his weight because he wasn't confident or passionate and he switched to a different department?
Yes. Yes.
See?
Yep.
That is such great news. What do you think was the turning point? Like, what did you say that made him be like, you know what? I think you're right.
I told him, I was like, what do you think you're doing that is not being to where you can't finish the stuff that you're supposed to finish? Like, what do you think is happening? What's wrong to where you feel like you can't finish the stuff?
Mm-hmm,
Like
mm-hmm.
you, I said, you be enthused like whenever they give you the notes and all that. You be enthused to do them, but you never pull through with them. Like, what do you need? Like, what can we do to help you to say, okay, I'm gonna get this done. I'm gonna do this. And then he was like, I don't really know. I never really thought about it. That what he told me. He was like, I never really thought about it. He was like, I don't even know. It's just something. He get easily distracted.
Gotcha. So he
So
been in his new role for a couple of weeks, you think?
yes. Now, I think it's been a week.
A week. And so
Yep.
you see him thriving.
Yep. And every time I see him this week, he looks happy.
Well, how do you feel?
I feel good because I feel good because I know I'm happy for him because
Right.
I didn't want the outcome to be him getting fired.
Right, right, right.
So
Right.
I didn't want that because people got families, they got people they need to take care of. So I never want anyone to lose their job for something that they don't have to lose their job for when anything can be fixed. So I wanted him to do better. I keep pushing and saying, okay, you need to do this. Maybe this may have
Mm-hmm.
maybe this, but when you told me the stuff, what you told me, and then it made sense, and I could say it in a different way
Gotcha.
than I was saying it before. And when I said it in the way that you told me, then I guess he understood it better because we came from a different
A
perspective.
different perspective. Yeah, I know that's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
How is your supervisor handling it all?
He good. He's good. He's happy. And now we gotta find somebody else. But
So you're hiring. But you know
yeah,
what? I am so thankful that you all decided to transition him into a different department.
yeah,
All the time, people don't always get that opportunity. If
yeah,
something is going wrong in a role or it's not meeting, the person is not meeting the level of satisfaction that the company needs,
yeah,
sometimes you're just out the door.
yeah. They fire you.
So
Yep,
I am so happy that you called in and you told me that. Thank you
yep.
so much. Any other thoughts or questions for me while I have you on the call?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
But I just thank you and appreciate your advice.
You are so welcome. Thank you so much for calling in tonight and giving us that great report.
No
I'm
problem.
so happy to hear you are good. You got to hire,
Yep.
but we found him a home.
Yes.
And that's what
Yes.
work is all about. Sometimes
Mhm.
we have to move people around where they can
Yep.
find their gifts and their talents.
Yep.
And I'm so thankful you all did that for him. And hopefully he continues to thrive in that position.
Yeah. I pray he do.
All right. Thanks for calling in tonight.
No problem.
Okay,
Have a good night.
you too. Bye bye.
Bye.
Wow, that was a lesson itself. Did you all hear the lesson? The lesson itself was so she had an issue where I don't remember the issue because I've had like 5 calls now. Where um her colleague was not meeting performance at the standard that the company wanted him to perform. And so she was pulling all the weight, and the leader was putting all the work on her instead of getting him to perform. So we coached and coached. I don't remember what I said to her on the call, not the situation. We coached and coached. You all could go back and listen to it, figure out which call it was. And she left the conversation empowered to go help her supervisor help him be better. But in that conversation, we learned just now that the guy was just better suited for a different role in that company. So sometimes, as new managers and leaders, you are also responsible for ensuring that your people are in the right places, in the right positions, with the right roles. Man, that's a word. I feel like I'm preaching right now. But sometimes you're responsible for that, even if it's just a task or an assignment or a responsibility or a project. It may not be transition out of the actual department, but rather a different assignment. You are responsible for ensuring that your people are in the right place. And if they're not, it is great for you as a leader to find what they need or help them get to a different place. Man, that was a great phone call. I'm happy for her. I'm happy for him and the company. And hopefully he continues to thrive. All right, y'all. Are there any thoughts or any questions for me as we end our conversation tonight on performance evaluations, for one? And number two, make sure your people are in the right place. You may have great people who have great core competencies and skill sets, but if they need to be somewhere else and they can be valuable somewhere else in the department or in the company, do that for them. As she mentioned, he has a whole family. He has a life. He wants to do well. So giving him a second chance in that company was just a really great idea. And I wish I knew the company so I could shout them to the mountaintops, but I don't know. And we also know that they're hiring now. I don't. I gotta set this up differently. I don't know who's hiring. Don't know what the company is. But what I do know is that they made a good decision. All right. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Okay. Oh, I got a couple questions. How do performance evaluations affect career advancement and compensation? Oh, great question. So the question is, how do performance evaluations affect career advancement and compensations? Well, depending on how your manager writes down, put it in writing and you sign it because you're going to have to sign that evaluation. Whatever they put down, they are measuring you to goal standards in their company. And they're looking for high achievers. So based on how you measure up to their standards and their criteria and their rubric, you'll be placed in this thing called a box. We have 8 boxes, 9 boxes, all the boxes. And depending on where you sit, they will be investing more money in you for a raise, for more leadership opportunities, for more stretched assignments. Stretched assignments is when you get access to a role where you're not technically qualified to do, but they want you to try it out so you can kind of stretch into that opportunity so that you can learn more in the company. So that's why I ask you, if you meet expectations only, to go ask them why and figure out what you can do differently, because you want to be exceptional before you sign that paperwork. Once to go back and see who all placed in certain places on that 8 box, 9 box is one of the boxes. I can't think of the name of it. That's one system people use. Then they go back and they give bonuses based on that. They decide who gets invited to do programs based on that. And you get promoted based on that. So evaluations are really, really important to the business. All right. How do exchanging jobs several times a year fit in the evaluation? Okay. Now, if you are on a job and your role is more like project based or contractual based, then you want to take every project. It's actually easier because you remember the project. And all you want to do is just kind of combine those projects, find those core competencies within those projects, and be sure to highlight them in the conversation. That's a great question. Any more questions? All right, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight to Chandria Circles Back, where we meet most Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Next Wednesday, I'm going to be out of pocket. It's my birthday. So you all won't see me next weekend. No, not next weekend. Next Wednesday. But the following week, I'll be back live. I wish you all a very happy, spooky end of, October. And we'll circle back in a couple weeks. All right. Thanks for tuning in tonight.